it's recording. So, hi, I'm Baylee. I'm from UnHinged magazine. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kristin Rebecca.
Okay, so are you ready to get started?
Sure, absolutely.
So first off, explain what you do.
So I am a folk musician and songwriter. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, so I also play acoustic guitar and the folk harp, and I was a voice major in college.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
So which artist made you fall in love with folk music?
It's hard to choose. I was introduced to a lot when I was in middle and high school. So ones of course people have heard of, like John Denver, Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez were huge influences on me. And also an artist a lot of people haven't heard of, his name was Rich Mullins, and he was in Christian contemporary music, and he played hammered dulcimer. And that sort of got me thinking about how the harp could be used in a sort of different setting.
That's neat. And you have some pretty great influences.
Yeah.
When did you first learn how to play the harp?
So I first picked up the harp when I was 15. And it's just such a random story. I walked into a music store in Minnesota called Growth Music, and they're one of the few places where I've seen Celtic harps for sale. They just had them sitting out on the floor. And I actually had never seen one before that day. And I walked up to it, plucked a string, and said, "Oh, I want to play that."
Now that's actually a neat story.
Yes.
What is it that inspires you to write a song?
You know, for me, songwriting comes from all areas of life. It can be something that I've experienced personally, like a breakup, or something that's just going through my life that's just really fun, like a travel or trip. It can also be something a friend has told me. I wrote a song called Let Him Go, where a friend was trying to decide whether or not she should break up with a guy. And I was in my own way telling her what I thought she should do. And it can also come from historic stories. So I wrote a song called Horseshoe, which came from a gravestone I saw in Arizona about a man who was wrongfully hung. And so I decided to sort of write about what I thought happened to him that day.
Well, I listened to a couple of your songs before this interview, and you have some really great songs in you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, my next question, your single, Siren's Call, was met with rave reviews by critics. Can you explain the songwriting process for that song?
Yeah, so I'm really into fantasy. I don't fully write a lot in fantasy, but I do love fantasy and folklore. And I decided that, I was intrigued by sirens and what they do to sailors, and the idea of these men that are, crashed on the rocks. And so I decided, I want to write my own version of what that would look like in sort of a modern telling, in terms of like verses and choruses and something that might be heard on the radio.
Well, you certainly did a great job with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, other than the influences that you named in the first question, are there any other particular artists that also made you fall in love with music?
Oh yeah, I love listening to modern artists like Ed Sheeran, and I also listen to a lot of Celtic artists as well, like the High Kings is a group I'm really into right now.
And do you have another album plan?
I do. So I'm hoping in about a month to release an EP I'm working on right now called Realm of Enchantment. And also, since, my state and a lot of other states are still in lockdown, I'm looking at releasing potentially live EPs from my house from different songs I'm writing.
Well, I'll be on the lookout for those.
Thanks.
You're welcome. At what point did you, at what point in your life did you realize that you wanted to pursue singing professionally?
I think it was about the time, I had sort of been in bands since I was about 13, but it was really around time 15, 16 that I thought, I want it to be something as a profession rather than maybe a side hobby.
Yeah. If you weren't in the music industry, what do you think you would be doing career-wise?
I would have pursued a degree in marketing.
Who is your dream collaboration?
Oh, wow. That's a hard one, but I think that, part of me would think it'd be fun to see what would happen if Lizzo and I collaborated, with her flute and her style mixed with a harp. I think could be a lot of fun.
That actually would be a really good collaboration right there. What is it about folk music that makes you love it so much?
I love the storytelling in folk music. It's very much just like putting a very short story to a song, and I absolutely adore that side of folk.
Sorry. What other stuff do you have planned out for the future other than the EP?
Well, it kind of depends on what happens in the country. This summer I was supposed to be on the road like a lot of musicians. So when things open up, I definitely will be starting to tour again. I even had some invites into Canada. So when the borders open up, I'll be hopefully heading that way.
Well, if you ever decide to come out here to Houston, I'll definitely not come to one of your shows.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And that was all the questions I had for you today. So thank you for joining. I had a lot of fun talking with you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this.
You're very welcome. Thank you again for doing this. Bye.
Bye.
Listen to a tale an old sailor told to me about his ship that wrecked. The only survivor was he. After they left dock, their journey seemed to be cursed. The endless crashing waves, the ship felt like a floating hearse. They heard a song on the wind. Listen to my call. If safety's what you seek, follow my voice to white sandy shores where you can rest in peace. Weary from the storm, they turned and followed her song. A trance was put on them. For this world they weren't meant for long. From the mist came rocks. Their jagged points loomed ahead, too late to turn around. The hull crashed and was turned to shreds. They heard a song on the wind. Listen to my call. If safety's what you seek, follow my voice to white sandy shores where you can rest in peace. Quickly they went down. The waves pulled the men under. All but one of them drowned. Her song sang them to their slumber. If you're on a ship and a storm starts to blow through, sail as fast as you can, or rest in peace.